Sometimes the universe waits for the perfect moment. For years, I believed keeping my head down, working hard, and following the rules would protect me. But I learned the hard way. Some people will watch you drown just to see if you can swim. My name's Erin, and for 6 long years, I worked in the deli and bakery department of a grocery store that felt more like a war zone than a workplace. I wasn't chasing fame or money or glory. I just wanted to do my job well. Until she arrived, Jill. The woman who smiled in your face, then buried a knife in your back the second you turned around. I was supposed to be promoted to department manager. Everyone knew it. I had earned it. But Jill? She had connections. She didn't earn her spot. She manipulated her way into it. And from that day on, my life became a slow-motion nightmare. But you know what? Karma doesn't rush. It waits. It watches. And then one day, it strikes exactly where it hurts the most. Before I go on, if this story already has you hooked, please like this video, leave a comment, and subscribe to Revenge Flame, where real stories of karma, justice, and revenge burn bright. I started at that store fresh out of high school. I learned everything from slicing meats to decorating wedding cakes. Over the years, I became the go-to person, the one who could fix mistakes, smooth things over, and keep customers happy. The higher-ups promised me that when the current manager retired, the position was mine. I believed them. Then came Jill. She transferred from another branch, and within weeks, everything changed. She was polished, fake smile, perfect hair, expensive perfume that clung to the walls. But behind that, she was poison. Jill knew exactly how to work the system. She had a friend in upper management, one of those slick, always laughing types who use sweetheart like a weapon. 2 weeks after her arrival, an email came through. Please welcome Jill as a new deli bakery manager. No warning, no explanation. Just like that, my promotion was gone. At first, I tried to stay professional. I smiled, congratulated her, and told myself to focus on the work. But Jill didn't want a team. She wanted control. She'd forget to place supply orders and then blame me. She'd schedule too few people, knowing I'd have to call around and beg others to come in. She'd leave mid-shift claiming she had meetings, which, funny enough, always seemed to happen at the nail salon or a cafe across the street. And every time I brought it up to management, I'd hear the same thing. We'll look into it. We'll talk to her. She's under a lot of pressure. Meanwhile, I was doing both of our jobs. By year 2 under her, I was exhausted, physically and emotionally. I missed birthdays, anniversaries, even my husband's promotion dinner. But Jill didn't care. One week I asked for time off to get married, my own wedding, and she actually tried to deny it, said I was too essential to lose during Easter season. If it weren't for the union stepping in, I might have missed my own ceremony. Still, I stayed because I loved my coworkers, because I believed maybe, just maybe, hard work would matter someday. Then, after 4 years of this circus, I got the best news of my life. I was pregnant. I remember sitting in the doctor's office, clutching that ultrasound photo like a secret piece of hope. I thought maybe this was my sign. Maybe life was about to change for the better. But Jill? She saw it as weakness. The day I told her, she looked me dead in the eye and said, "Well, guess we'll have to find someone reliable for once." That was her reaction. Not congratulations, not take care of yourself, just venom. That was the day something in me snapped. For months, I kept everything by the book. I documented everything. Every missed order, every time she left early, every instant she tried to screw with my schedule. I wasn't going to fight her in the open. I was going to let her dig her own grave. And then, fate handed me the perfect opportunity. My due date? April. Right before graduation season, the busiest time of year for bakeries in our town. 4 high schools, 3 colleges, hundreds of graduation cakes. And guess who was the only cake decorator in the entire department? Me. I warned them for months. I said, you need to hire someone for me to train before I go on leave. I repeated it in meetings, I sent emails, I even offered to help interview candidates. But management, as always, brushed it off. We'll handle it later. We've got time. Jill said she could cover it. Oh, Jill said that, did she? So I smiled and stopped reminding them. As my belly grew, so did my patience, for the first time ever. Because now I knew. I knew the exact moment this house of cards would fall. In the weeks leading up to my maternity leave, I made sure every single detail of my work was perfect. Orders, double-checked. Notes, clear as crystal. Schedules, submitted early. And when Jill took one of her 4-day weekends, I didn't even flinch. I just waited. When my doctor suggested I take an early week off due to stress, high blood pressure, I agreed. I started my vacation 2 weeks before my due date. And then 2 days later, my little boy decided to show up early. I delivered him on a Thursday morning, tired, tearful, but happier than I'd been in years. Meanwhile, back at the store, hell was breaking loose. Friday morning, the first day of graduation weekend. There were 19 cake orders scheduled to go out that day. Not one had been started. Why? Because Jill had decided to take, you guessed it, another 4-day weekend. She missed 3 supply orders, didn't tell management, didn't assign coverage, didn't show up. So when customers started arriving for their cakes, there were none. Within an hour, the store was flooded with angry families demanding refunds. People were shouting, crying, and pointing at empty display cases. Upper management had to be called in. Workers from the meat and produce departments were pulled in to frost random sheet cakes. They didn't know school colors, designs, or messages. They just slapped sprinkles on and handed them out for free. By noon, the store had lost over $1,000 in product and a mountain of reputation. And to make matters worse, the district manager was scheduled to do a surprise inspection that same day. He walked into chaos, and Jill, she didn't answer her phone, not once. She turned it off. So when she waltzed back in on Monday, tan and rested, she walked right into her own funeral. She was demoted that very day, stripped of her position, pay cut, and reassigned to the produce department. They told her she was never allowed near the bakery again. And me? I was at home rocking my newborn when I got the call. Erin, could you maybe come in for a few days? Things are bad. I just smiled. Sorry, I'm on maternity leave. You'll have to ask Jill. 6 months later, they still asked me if I'd come back. Every time I'd stop by to grab groceries, someone would say, "We really miss you. The cakes just aren't the same." But I'd just smile, push my cart, and say, "No, thank you. I've got all the sweetness I need at home." Now I bake for fun. For my son's birthdays, for neighbors, for myself. No deadlines, no backstabbers, no toxic bosses. Just peace. And Jill? I heard she's still slicing melons and produce. Still bitter, still stuck. And sometimes when I think about how she tried to ruin me, I just laugh because I didn't need to destroy her. I just needed to walk away and let the world show people who they really are. Jill thought she could bury me, but all she did was plant me. And when I grew, when I built a life full of peace and joy, she was still stuck in the dirt. Maybe that's what karma really is. Not punishment, just balance. If the story gave you chills, smash that like button. Tell me in the comments, what's the most satisfying revenge you've ever seen? And of course, don't forget to subscribe for more stories like this. Only on Revenge Flame, where justice always finds its way home.